Okay, I guess we can start our program. And thank you all for being here. And thanks to the HACA for the wonderful food that we had here. Really nice, very good. And thank you all for being here. So 2 years ago, Marie and Betty and a few other members of HACA came to my office looking for an attorney, and they found me and I found them. I'm very grateful for it because it's important to fulfill our ethical duty as Christians when we can, to do the best that we can to fulfill the gospel requirements of helping our fellow human beings in the best way that we can when we can. And this, I saw in HACA the people who really were doing the most effective work they could for their own community, which is helping our community. We all know about Haiti. I mean, you can't avoid news about Haiti. It's been a pretty troubled place, a lot of poverty. And these folks have been doing something about it, and they've been very effective. So without further ado, I turn it over to Marie. Or who's doing the history? Betty is doing the history of Haiti, and then we'll talk about HACA, and then we'll have a question and answer period. Okay? All right.
Here's the picture that was on my
You need a.
Do I need one? Okay.
Okay, yes.
Okay. So I was saying that these are the pictures of Haiti that are on my mind and giving me nostalgia, of course, because I'm dying to go back. So here I'm going to give very brief say because we don't have time, but I will say what is the most important and what will explain our situation today. This is the island that we call Hispaniola, and as you see, this is the Dominican Republic and Haiti is right here, 1/3 of the island. Wait 1 second, let's go back. I just want to show you that all these entities, they call them, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, and all of this, we are right across from the Canal of Panama. So on the geography, on the map, that's where we are. So Haiti was discovered by Christopher Columbus. Next. I will pass very quickly on this because all of you already know this, so I won't stay too long. As you know that we had slavery on the island. Slavery started in the 1500s, very early, and 300 years of slavery, and 140 years of which was we were a colony of friends. And as you know, we were in that triangular trade situation. Next, please. So throughout the time, the slaves were never happy. Their situation was horrible, so they were always trying to get out of it. When this man became our leader, Toussaint Louverture, I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about him. He was the greatest leader of that we had in Haiti. For some time, he was the governor of Haiti, and he led the revolution. However, the French kidnapped him and took him to France, where he was in prison, where he died of mistreatment to self-rescue. So, but his disappearance didn't stop the revolution. There was enough empathy, there was enough discontent, so that they continued the fight. Is it okay? I'm hearing my it's okay. Yes, that's how we have. I just want to make sure everybody hears me. So, so it was the French Revolution that encouraged the slaves to join themselves to the revolution to get them get the freedom. And we're talking about 1790s, and they fought a lot until on this day, November 18th, 1803, we beat the French, and they had to leave. There was a lot of French people who liked the island, who understood the situation, wanted to prepare the Haiti of tomorrow, remained. This is the guy who beat the French, because look at his face, you won't see you won't see his face. His face may be touched very, very much, because you can see the pain in his face. And he was ruthless. And it was, as you've heard, I'm sure, before, the cry of the slaves, give us freedom or give us death. Liberté ou la mort, it was what they were crying, and this man was ahead of them, and they went right into whatever the French had to offer. They won. So he became the first president of Haiti. Our independence was proclaimed on January 1st, 1804, and Dessalines, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, was our first president, and then he decided to make himself an emperor. So Jacques Ier was his name, but he got assassinated. Why did the guy get assassinated? The formal history tells us something different, but the hidden history, the history of the people, tell us that he was assassinated by Pétion, who was actually his, who had baptized his children, or one of his children. But there was a lot of friction between the life of people, the life of Black people, and the death of Black people. So the tension was such that after the death of Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Haiti split into North and South. I thought it was funny that I didn't tell you that Haiti was split into North and South, knowing that in America you also had North and South situation. But here, in the North, we had Henri stuff. And in the South, we have the light of people. So we had two Haitis, one in the North and one in the South. After the death of both of these men, this person, Jean-Pierre Boyer, was elected, and he reunited the two parts of Haiti, and he not only did that, he also reunited the whole island. And he ruled for over 21 years over the whole island. And the Dominicans were okay with it because we had helped them keep the Spanish out. So this was okay, but as you know, the French came back. There was always a fear that they would be coming back. There were a whole lot of forts being raised everywhere, so we would be able to fight them. They came back and they asked for a lot of money. Um, they came back with warships in our surrounding us. So Wanye decided to negotiate the money, and this is how we ended up with having to pay them this money. I won't stay very much on that, except for the consequences were terrible for Haiti. Uh, so Haiti was in such turmoil since the indemnity, since that money, that at some point we had a very intense political turmoil with assassination. One of our president was assassinated, so the Americans came in to, well, okay, to bring peace, to bring calm. And and it is true that during their stay in Haiti, there was order more or less, and you had peace and prosperity. We had three successful presidents that did their full term, unknown for Haiti before that, or almost, not really unknown, but almost, because some presidents only did a few days, a few months, and they had to be deposed. However, the intervention of the Americans was not totally good for Haiti, because they have a totally different vision of the world and what is good than we do, and it's a totally different country. The Americans wanted to have things go their way. And to make things worse, what I understand is they brought a lot of Southern Americans to live in Haiti. So the oppression of the darker people was very severe during the Americans being there. We wrote our constitution. They made sure that we would only have presidents that were favorable to their point of view. Well, but this situation, the situation of the lack of money and the turmoil that Haiti always had returned after the Americans left, and we had a period of intense dissolution and disorder, which brought Papa Doc on, François Duvalier. François Duvalier was the first that spoke of reunited the two Haitis. I forgot to tell you that Wanye had created, well, since before Wanye, you remember that I just showed you we had North and South. So we had two Haitis. But then when Wanye reunited the whole country, we still had two Haitis, except at that time, what we had was the lighter people in the urban areas and the darker people in the mountains, in the countryside. And Wanye had something called the Code Rural, the Rural Code, which sought to keep the country people outside of the cities, tied to plantations, tied to the land. They didn't want to see those people in power. So then you had two Haitis again, but this time one urban Haiti and one rural Haiti. And this is what this man wanted to change. With good reason, so that we would have one national identity, which we never had before. But what he did was to bring the people. They were right in the middle of their work sometimes, half naked, under the sun. The Tontonacoots would go grab them and put them in big drops to bring to Port-au-Prince to celebrate Papa Doc's election, to celebrate the day of the flag. They were, Papa Doc wanted the country people to participate in government, which was, as I said before, a good thing, except that because a premature exodus of those country people, they came to Port-au-Prince in huge groups. One thing I didn't say also is that the rural people, the country people, were very, very numerous as compared to the urban people. The cities only had just a group of people, but the whole country, like 80% of the country, was in the countryside, and that's the one he wanted to bring. Too early, he didn't prepare it. So, as a result, Port-au-Prince became a slum overnight. I remember my mother crying, saying, oh my God, look at what's happening to Port-au-Prince. Look, you wouldn't be in Port-au-Prince in my time, in my mother's time, without being well dressed and perfumed and everything. But after this is when Port-au-Prince became. It was hard to even walk around there. Then a lot of slums sprung up. The other problem that this exodus of the country people created is that they were the food basket of the country. They were the producers of the food. And once they came to Port-au-Prince, some of them didn't even know where they came from before. Once they dumped them into Port-au-Prince, they didn't go back, they remained. Who was cultivating the land? So this brought the necessity for us to import food. And it created a vicious cycle. That went from bad to worse and worse and worse. So this is how we ended up with a situation where we needed more intervention from the foreign leaders, foreign countries, and things were going more or less okay until the Clintons put this man in power. He was really a horrible man. They had no kind of preparation to be a leader. Once he got into power and the government started losing its strength, then the elites hired drones to take care of them. They felt the need to protect themselves, so they hired gangs. And then at some point they couldn't pay them anymore, so they let them stay without, these men were already armed. They had the idea, oh, we know how to make money. And they started kidnapping people, and from then things went very, very far back, down so that the gang people these days, do they even realize they're killing their own people? The people they have a problem with, they are all over the world, and with their wives, their children, they're living in France, in America, in Canada, and it's the poor people that are being harassed by the gangs. But Haiti is not only under the power of guns. There is also, we have all those natural disasters, as I'm sure you know, hurricanes all the time, and then we also had the January 2010 earthquakes, which really brought Haiti to the attention of the world. And now, HACA had started in 2009 already, but when the earthquake started, after the earthquake, it became more of an urgency that they really got there and they helped people. So they really became more involved with the situation in Haiti. So all of this is showing you manifestations. We never saw so many people on the street to try to see if they can change the situation, but nothing worked. But in general, Haitians are peace-loving and fun-loving people. They love foreigners, they love each other. They are really very humanitarian. We're talking more of the lower class than the upper ones. So that's the picture we first saw. The next one, please. This is showing you the difference in lifestyle that you might see in Haiti, all the way down to this. But obviously, people love nature in Haiti. It's a Haitian Alliance, so that's what you see in there. Before Papa Doc, and even during Papa Doc, we had a lot of tourists. Colorful Haiti for the work of art and the flowers, and this is where you the pilot homes that we have. I think this is it for Haiti. We are going to get questions at the end. If you have any questions, we're now passing the space to Madame Tanzo.
Morning, everyone.
Wow.
My name is Marie Magdalene Casson. I live in Englewood. I retired from Bergen County Healthcare Center after 10 years of service. I am a wife, a mother of 2, and a foster parent of 17 children in the past 16 years. I am one of the founders and the current president of HACA, which stands for Haitian Alliance. I thank Bill Musiello, our lawyer, for introducing us to this church community. The stamp you see right here on the right, our logo represents an award we received in 2020 from the great nonprofit organization, the Haitian Alliance for Community Action, was established in 2009 by a group of Haitians from Bellevue la Montagne, living in New Jersey. Some of the founders are here today, and also some friends and family members. Would you please stand, the members? Became a 501c3 in 2010. It is also registered in Haiti. HACA is run by Haitian volunteers in the US and in Haiti. The area we serve. The area we serve is Bellevue la Montagne, which consists of several villages. It is in the mountain of South Port-au-Prince.
Mhm. Bellevue la Montagne. Mhm.
Now the mission. HACA's mission is to alleviate the poverty of the most disadvantaged children and their family, to create opportunities for them through education, food, and healthcare services. Now let's talk about a food distribution program. HACA's first action was a food distribution in December 2009, which opened our eyes on the community's needs. That day, we served over 200 families. However, a lot more people than anticipated showed up. It became clear that the most urgent need was food. So we created a yearly food distribution program. From 2010 to 2017, we collected money from us, the founders, to pay for our programs. We bought raw food from Haitian suppliers in Haiti and distributed over 300 of the nearest family. We fell by pastors, priests, and the community leaders. Each stick contained 2 weeks worth of rice, beans, cornmeal, spaghetti,
Can I go back?
and
No?
can of salmon, a barrel
It's
of
tough to go
oil,
back.
and laundry soap.
Mhm, mhm.
As you can see,
Yeah, yeah.
Did we jump?
Yeah. So Maden was explaining the kits, and this is how they're made. And this is where they are distributed. These are the people waiting. This is the Haitian group in Haiti and Madeleine. And we are the people.
and we have one of the members here, which is blessed. He's always there at the distribution in here. And so it helped coordinate in here and there in the. In 2000,
Shall we do the?
in 2018,
Oh.
we received a request of $20,000
Okay.
for food. We did 2 distributions a year until 2021. However, we were always overwhelmed with more people than expected. Now the situation is worse than ever. You always have to be there for a lot of extra kids for unexpected guests. We make sure the distribution lasts no more than 4 hours so we don't get overrun with crowd of people that we couldn't serve. As you can see, if you go back, please.
They saw it, so.
We started a school sponsorship in 2014 with 30 children aged 5 to 23, attending 4 different schools at different levels, primary, secondary, and vocational. We provide tuition and school supply for them. We also distributed school supply to several other schools beside the one in our program. We have a number of smart children eager to learn who are kicked out of school because their parents cannot pay. Parents are constantly asking for help. To date, we have 6 students who completed their academic education. 4 graduate in professional school, 1 in plumbing, 2 in carpentry, 1 in culinary arts. First, in the countryside, a plan for healthcare is dream. A year after the foundation of HACA in 2010, Haiti had a major earthquake. Volunteer nurses and doctors in us in New Jersey, along with 5 Haitian doctors we hired in Haiti, provided care to the victims through mobile clinic. We continue providing general health services through the clinic until 2017. Nurses and people. In 2019, through the help of a very educated and outstanding lady, Charlotte Benechon, who's here today with us. Introduced us to local organizations, including the Rotary Club. We were able to start the Nurses for Hope program for young ladies. We hope to establish a healthcare facility in the community we serve, where these nurses will help provide preventive and emergency care, as well as public health education. The program was a great success. The young ladies excelled. 2 of our students were laureates. As you can see, this was the capping ceremony. And this is the message. We added one more student from our waiting list. That's why it's 5 right now. However, after COVID, political instability and gun violence intensified. Today, things are out of control in Haiti, and everyone who can leave the country. 3 of our nursing students, after completing 2 years of schooling, took advantage of President Biden's humanitarian immigration program and came to the US. We have 2 remaining students in their 2nd and 3rd year of nursing at University Lumiere. The school offers courses online when insecurity is too high. Everyone is hoping things will get better soon. With political problems, social unrest, the constantly rising cost of living, in addition to unemployment, food has become a luxury. The country is in the greatest need of basic necessities right now. We have limited resources and need your support. We welcome any help you can give us, whether it's money, your time, or your production. We thank you for the privilege of having us here today. Please feel free to ask any question you may have. We have brochures and cards on the table. Please take one and offer them to a friend who might want to help. There you go.
has any questions for, Maria Betty?
There's one fact that I learned from NPR that got left out today. We all come here to learn, open ourselves to learn. But there is something I learned from them that shocked me to the core, but it didn't get sent. So I want to tell you that one fact. Brett skillfully went through the history of people, slavery, colonialism, and France. And France there and left and came back. But what I learned is the leadership moving around. France asked Haiti to give them bucket loads of money because France was going to lose money. They didn't have slaves anymore. And the country, whoever was sitting at the table, said yes. So for decades and decades and decades, money poured out of Haiti to France. And the results of that are still today, the same as the results of slavery are still ramifications in the United States today. And I keep telling them, you gotta hammer that one home, because there's not a lot that shocks us so, but that goes on much short list of shocking. Okay, you're awesome.
I'll add one more thing to this. The president that brought that problem up to the open, Aristide was kidnapped by the Americans and brought out of the country under the seemingly it was a coup, but they managed to get him out. However, that news, that thing is reverberating around the world. There are now countries who are pushing France to pay that money back. Switzerland, I heard recently, there are other countries who are pushing to have that money back because, yes, it's responsible for Haiti's poverty.
It was an extortion. Extortion that came back with huge fleet.
Yes.
9 years after Haiti won its independence. And they said, well, the flow for the Prince to
Good shakedown.
come up with this money that
Exactly.
we lost. And so that's what happened.
That's what happened. Boyer is the one that negotiated this.
So in the light of the presidential stability, how are you funneling your resources? What is the primary goal of funneling resources?
I'll let you answer that.
Yes. The way that we do business, the way you take care of things in Haiti, we are not vulnerable to the gains. So, for instance, for the food distribution that we just spoke about, the money goes directly to our vendor, our Haitian vendor that is right on the spot. And you saw all those provisions, these are taken to the churches where the distribution is done. As for the school, we pay we have a coordinator because we are involved with several schools. Our coordinator receives money via wire transfer. We wire the money to them, and the schools are paid from there. So we are not exposed to the gangs. It's not like they see cash because, the way they get money from people is by kidnapping them, or they break into banks and steal, they break into your house and steal. So we are not, thank God, we are not in that situation.
My understanding is the minister of the church
third floor. I'll vet the family.
Yes.
Make sure that, there are no salaries for HACA except that you just get assigned them to the ground floor, right? That's all. So everything goes directly to the hope that, if we can, we'll contribute something today, most appreciated. And, any other questions?
The big problem we have with the Americans giving aid is they make it sound very good, but it's not as good as it sounds. So what they would do, for instance, is if they subsidize farmers here and vendors here, so that these people will be able to sell what they have at a cheaper price in Haiti. But that affects the market. So, for instance, Bill Clinton destroyed our rice production in Haiti by doing just that. You subsidize the rice producers over here. You send the rice in Haiti to be sold at a very low cost. And at the same, but they tell you this is aid to Haiti. Very often, the aid that they give to Haiti is spent right here in America. So Haiti doesn't get all that we hear. It doesn't happen like
Volunteers primarily paid, they come from here or other countries to help us with.
well, we have HACA here in America, and HACA is registered in Haiti. So we have our volunteers here in America, and we have a few of them right here. This picture was right there in the food distribution. And so whenever we're going to do the food distribution, here is Monsieur Cazo in the back here, behind his wife. And we have several people. We have Hensley Cazo, that's another Cazo. Our power here, but also when the distribution needs to be done in Haiti, they pack up and go and stay in Haiti for several weeks so they can do that pretty well. Very often it is Blaise who is there to
Never
do
miss
that.
one.
Never miss one distribution. We also have, I didn't tell you, Mrs. Cazo's mother. Right.
Kingston.
That's done right there. So, so we have volunteers over here and volunteers in Haiti.
His son just got here, but he was in the picture helping the distribution. Volunteering in the food distribution. Unloading the trucks, make sure the things are well, make sure everybody gathers together.
It's a huge event that food distribution.
And everybody loves doing that. It's a joy for them to get together and have food.
And yeah, it's a happy.
So it's like a big event.
Yes.
Hey, my name is Dick, and I'm a longtime St. Parker and not quite retired engineer. I have two questions for you real quick. One, do you all have a relationship where you see Doctors Without Borders and or engineers without borders working in Haiti?
I can tell you, we don't have a connection with these organizations. I have had this, but my husband, who's an engineer, he's an engineer, he travels with the doctors in Holy Name Hospital to the north of Haiti, in a place called Milo, where they have put them at a hospital that they go to help people. And my husband, Alan Luke, decided to do a water program where distribute filters to the people because a lot of their illnesses come from drinking bad water.
Yes.
So, yeah. Without COVID, and now the gang problem, we're always seeking to meet other organizations and work with them. So we hope to do that.
But the other quick question, please, just to get a handle on the money, you all do a great job raising funds. How much money did you all raise last year? And how much is your goal to raise this year? About.
We raised about $20,000.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to get an idea.
Yes.
Which success you've had.
Flying regular.
Okay, good, thank you.
Yes?
What is the most effective way to make a donation? You have a link on your website?
Yes, we do have the mental website.
Okay.
We do. But you say the most effective way?
Just to get it.
Yeah, it seems to me that a check written to the organization is very good because, yeah, sometimes people go through PayPal and PayPal will take a little bit out, so that there is that. Yes.
I'm a member of a group that we have here at St. Mark's that makes quilts, but we also make kits that are for reusable and washable menstrual equipment for girls and women. And for the last, I don't even remember how many years, 7 years we've been making them and sending them to Haiti actually through Feed the Hungry, because they have a hackathon for food to send to Haiti. But we just feel that we never actually know if our kits are getting there, distributed. And I'd love to talk to you guys after just to see if that would be something that we could funnel through you.
We would love it. We would love it.
We make about 50 kits a year.
Yes, in terms of the following up on the question of how to give, so we can write a check and I assume that the best way is just to send it to the address.
So the address is there, yes. It goes directly to us and we send you acknowledgements.
I would just encourage anyone, if you have Venmo or Zelle, get them to have Venmo or Zelle. There should be 10 ways that you can give money to it, because it's a grassroots organization. They have a bang for the buck of what they do. And because of the grassroots people they have working there and allowing services to be directly there, it should be more than my picture. Anyway, we're making that.
Yes. And of course, if you feel that you'd like to adopt a mind, Katie, one of those kids, you could actually pay the school directly, I mean, through us, but take care of one child, and like that you would also feel a certain feeling that you are to save your life. Yes. For the primary grades, it's $400 a year. $400 a year for tuition and supplies. But if you want to also donate money for uniforms and shoes, because they really need it, it goes up to $500. Yeah. Yes.
It's with the schools, You talked about this program you have where there's tuition is there. Are there any government-sponsored schools where there's no tuition for these kids in the town school?
Okay, we have what they call public schools in Haiti. But because of the corruption in Haiti, guess who goes to the public schools? It's those people who are connected to one authority, one powerful person or not, or other. The people, we have to create, to pay for those schools, for those children, because otherwise they are without education. When Papa Dog, Duvalier improved power, illiteracy in Haiti was 70 up to 80%. We're talking about the country people didn't know how to read at all. It went up for a while, but now with all these problems, it's going down again. And yeah, we have a serious illiteracy problem, which you would think the government would be rushing to fix, but no, they're not. So it's left. That's why we are creating things, because they're not going to the need.
I want to add something about what you said.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Maybe you watch videos or you heard in Haiti say yeah, that's the truth. And sometimes we are like organization send them to FA, but they need to have a receipt. After the affair, some people find food, medication, and the warehouse. They don't get to eat. They just start there. When the affair struck here, they see blood here. Million, even billion dollars invested in the government. First thing they did, like 50 SUV. Because the money to help people, but they spend on cars, you know. I know some people afraid to help because they know Haitian government, Haitian people grow. But HACA is different. That's why we go in person. I always get. Anytime doing something, I've been person. To buy things, to help and to distribute. I'm not to refer to them. People, I will be there. Exactly, will be there.
Yeah.
You know, we will be there in person. Where?
All the registered charities in the state of New Jersey are under the report to the Attorney General of the state of New Jersey. And they look over everything. So, thank you all. Is there any food still out there? I hope.
I think they carried it in.
And feel free to talk to us.
Yes.
It's funny because the people, it's only the size compared to the population of India is very small.
Yeah.
So I was curious, and you know that
Yeah.
We can ask them. I don't know about the churches. So I think they do.
Because they also run.
Yeah, I think they do.
I got surprised at what the